School-wide positive behavior intervention and supports. Introduction to our scenario. Halls Elementary School provides schooling to 500 students ranging from grades pre-K to 3rd grade. Half of the 500 students are functioning 2 years behind in their current academic level. Staff has reported students engaged in inappropriate behaviors in the hallway. Engagement in inappropriate behaviors has resulted in staff frequently writing office disciplinary referrals, ODR, to students. Data has indicated that during this academic school year, 75% of the students have received an ODR, 50% of the students who have received an ODR have received 4 or more. Majority of the students are multiple offenders. Pre-K and kindergarten students are the most frequent offenders. In order to help reduce inappropriate behaviors in the hallways for students at Halls Elementary School, interventions will include the implementation of PBIS, including pre-correction, buddy system for positive role models, active supervision, token economy system with group contingencies, visual support system.
The research we used for our intervention was a combination of research studies, journal articles, and educational websites. We used one website for advocacy of ASD, 2 websites pertaining to positive behavioral interventions and support, 1 website for data collection and communication, and a communication platform that we chose to implement our intervention, and 3 group research studies regarding positive behavior support aimed to decrease inappropriate hallway behavior. We also used 1 research study using visual activity schedules to reduce challenging behaviors in young children, 1 practitioner article that reviews 6 evidence-based visual support strategies, and 1 literature review involving 17 different articles about using visual support with young children with ASD.
Okay, how to implement PBIS step by step. The first step is determine the behavior that all staff agree is the most problematic behavior in the school. The next step is develop school-wide rules that are positively stated. The next is, once rules have been developed, develop expectations that correlate with the rules. Next is to create a PBIS team. Once this team is developed, the team decides which setting the behavior occurs the most in and which staff members will be held accountable. Next, we'll come up with a plan that teaches appropriate behavior and expectations. The next step, number 7, is the PBIS team determines what rewards will be used to increase behavior. Next, it involves discussing what the correction procedure will look like if the student does engage in inappropriate behavior. It is also helpful to create visual supports to help students remember the rules and expectations. And lastly, the PBIS team will meet once a month to determine if the PBIS is effective and if a decrease in inappropriate behaviors is occurring. If revisions are needed, the PBIS team will make changes to the PBIS.
Halls Elementary's needs. At Halls Elementary School, an overwhelming majority of students, 375 or 75%, have received ODRs in the past year for inappropriate hallway behaviors. Some of the worst offenders are reported to be the pre-kindergarten and kindergarten students who frequently elope from their classes during transition and sometimes even escape from the building. We have recognized these inappropriate behaviors to be the target behavior for reduction. Additionally, the school is in need of uniform rules and regulations to abide by. Some teachers have chosen to implement their own interventions, for example, walking in a single file in the hallway or walking in double lines with boys and girls separated, while some have not implemented any intervention at all.
Our Hall School motto is, I am respectful, I keep my hands, feet, and objects to myself, I walk in a line with a closed mouth. I am accountable, I walk in a straight line, my shirt is tucked in, my hood/hat are off in the building, and I am cooperative. I listen to all directions and stop at all railroad crossing signs.
How our plan addresses Halls Elementary's needs. Because the majority of students at Halls Elementary School have received an office disciplinary referral, we chose to implement an intervention that serves the entire school. This universal Tier 1 strategy will ensure that all teachers are consistent in implementing the same rules throughout the school. Our chosen intervention, school-wide positive behavioral intervention and supports will consist of a combination of various evidence-based practices that have been used to reduce inappropriate behaviors. Specifically, the visual supports placed at exits will be used in order to reduce elopements, and the token system via the Dojo application will reinforce appropriate hallway behavior. And using the Dojo application during hallway transition and at lunchtime, teachers will be implementing active supervision. Additionally, the plan will begin with a 5-minute demonstration in which positive peer models from each grade level, chosen by the PBIS team, will model appropriate hallway behavior in order to implement pre-correction. These peers will be assigned to grade levels below them as class buddies to further model appropriate behavior. Except for third grade, which will have to have another third grader as a positive role model for the buddy system. The demonstration of appropriate hallway behavior will be recorded and shown as a video during the daily morning announcement and will include the school model. These supports will meet the need of teachers implementing universal interventions in order to reduce inappropriate hallway behaviors. These are the modeling of strategies. In the bottom left corner, these are the characters that are designated to students in the Class Dojo app. There is a visual of students walking appropriately in a line. These are the cue cards that will be used in the hallway: go, slow down, stop. And there is a visual for the buddy support system and the Class Dojo rewards for positive reinforcement that the students will receive.
Here is an example of the data collection form that will be used to track the intensity and the frequency of the inappropriate behaviors that Halls Elementary students are displaying.
This is an overview of the school-wide implementation plan.
Some final tips and the conclusion. Implementation of visual supports should be creative, age-appropriate, and meet the individual needs of all students. When providing verbal praise, staff should make sure that they provide descriptive praise and their voice is enthusiastic. If the PBIS team can successfully train the staff members on providing positive behavior and visual supports, they should see a decrease in elopement and ODRs. The PBIS team will continue to provide ongoing training when needed to ensure that things continue to be ran as needed. Overall, PBIS and the use of visual supports can help decrease problematic behaviors in the school setting by rewarding positive behavior instead of punishing inappropriate behavior.